On drums, Mr. Pete Best. On guitar, Mr. Paul McCartney. On bass, recently arrived from the dark side of the moon, Mr. Stuart Sutcliffe. And on guitar, Mr. George Harrison. He's only just done solid food. My name's Lennon, John Winston Lennon. I was named after Churchill, John Churchill, the West Fishman.
I got to ask you, because another quiet member, like Stuart Sutcliffe, what type of guy was he like?
Okay. Stu was the smallest in the band, but he had the biggest heart. Okay. And that's what I always remember about Stu. You know, he had a bass guitar, which was nearly as big as him, you know, which was wonderful. People have fought his battle for years, you know, since he was ousted from the Beatles, or he left the Beatles. You know, and suppose he's been stigmatized with the same brand that I had, which is like, you know, he wasn't a good bass player, I wasn't a good drummer. And I've always defended his corner and said, no, you got to go back. You've got to appreciate what rock and roll was in those days. We're talking about 1960. I said, rock and roll was simple, right? Mm. And the bass player and the drums were the engine room, and they still are the engine room of a band. And Stu was great. And to play alongside of Stu, we provided a great engine room for the Beatles, okay? So we played simple bass, but it was very effective, right? When he left, it was a conscientious decision. He'd fallen in love with Astrid, this beautiful German photographer. And he made a conscious decision. He was leaving friends, okay? His friends, you know, from art school, and his friends as musicians. And he'd made the conscious decision. He wanted to go back to Hamburg College of Art, and he wanted to pursue his art career, you know, which was more important to him at that time. Because, and anyone who's basically seen his exhibitions, you know, which his sister took around the world, will realize what a prolific artist that man was.
Yeah.
Gentle giant, okay? When I say giant, not in stature, but in his persona. That was Stu.
Guys, back in the day, magnificent.
The one on the dome, to me, and most probably to a lot of people in my family, is the classic rock and roll photograph of any band, okay? That is rock and roll photography. You know?
I agree with you 110%. Let me ask you, Pete Best, how would you want the fans to remember you, your legacy? How would you like that to be?
How would I fans to remember my legacy? Just remember that Pete's a normal guy, right? Who enjoys life. He's a family man. He enjoys playing music. He enjoys socializing. He enjoys having a drink. He's a human being. And the fact that he was part of a wonderful legacy is something he's very proud of, and he always will be proud of it. And I thank the fans for giving me the support over the years. And remember me as they want to, okay? Just being me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Mr.